right now there's 120 people there for an NAACP play reading. And then at 7 is Joe Craven, a musician I've been trying for 7 years to get there. So that's the life of a bookstore owner. I'm going to start with my favorite poem lately, and most of you have probably already heard it. That's all right, I'm going to do it again. It's perfect for winter weather. The thing about performance poetry, which is what you're going to get today, is you really gotta like doing it alone in your living room, in your pajamas, or without them, in the morning, alone. And that's the great, I think that should be all art forms and all forms of poetry. Anybody here ever read Diana Gabaldon? Got anybody? Nobody.
Those novels, you mean?
Yeah, the
time travel novels?
Time travel, Outlander.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's a TV series. So a couple of people have read them. And we've sold 1 million of them, and people really like them. I've read one, and she's a wonderful storyteller. It's women, it's witchcraft, it's quite interesting, time travel, very real. But there is one thing that is unreal, which is the guy, Jamie Fraser. And he's just, there is no human like Jamie Fraser. And he's always getting beat up in one kind of Scottish battle or another. And then, of course, the nurses take care of him later, and that's the part we all like to read. So this poem is called The Legend of Jamie Fraser Elder. And it came to pass that on his 63rd birthday, 5 mostly good women of indeterminable age decided to take him as a slave and a sage to help them through the curious feng shui of a world in sudden sway. It was known this man had a drawer full of buttons, and the patches on his clothing held through long hours on hands and knees. And of all the old men whose guts had not yet seasoned a make-do stew, he was one of the few with hearing still clear, giving credence to the rumor of a closet full of Q-tips in the broken window, bramble-swallowed cabin, a tilt in a wallow on the backside of the hill, into which he was seen to secretly stumble when another of an endless chain of numbing days of work had long grown dark, where the cold depth of a far gone time had returned. These 5 mostly good women shared a house up the hill with a horde of hateful, diminished men of unmemorable face and organs impotent but large when anger ruled. They found him curled in the dry corner of a broken king mattress, wrapped in hand-stitched linen, reclaimed from the pages of a Shakespearean first folio he had once tried to trade for a precious pair of boots. The women, in truth grown quite rapacious, for what else was there to do, had their way with the smiling, snaggletooth length of blood, bone, and rigor, taking turns reading from the sheets. Oh, this is the 3rd time. I hope good luck lies in numbers. There is divinity in odd number, be it nativity, chance, or death. To this they all screeched merrily, then fell into conspiratorial silence, broken only by a single loud shared gasp when his sweet, wizened seed erupted into them all, and he became pregnant. They took his buttons and Q-tips, his merry blankets of linen, then decided to take him too. He proved good kitchen help, would turn the night soil, and cleaned up real good each day at noon when the women would rub his belly. The women were further emboldened whenever one of the, youngish men failed to return from the raids in the valley in search of the sacred June shrooms some say were hidden beneath the crumbling castles of sports before this time of longish emergency. There he was, in the cool breath of a long dusk, on hands and knees in the garden, belly growing, back swaying, head down, listening. One day, at the end of a row of potatoes, he and the women got to laughing so hard he pissed himself, then whoops, gave birth to such absolute spewifying children until, after uncountable time, we meet in this annex tonight. Now they know what we do on Saturday nights. Jorah is there would be no poetry slam without Jorah. She came into the store with a couple friends, Roxy and John, 8 years ago, and proposed moving it there. It was kind of in limbo, and we decided it had to be all ages, no alcohol. 14 gallons of organic tea is our record for a Saturday night. And we get about 140 people there, you know, it's automatic. We bring in world champs. Jorah does all the work. She's the administrator and the positive spirit, and also the MC, which means that she has to get up about 25 times every slam and fill in and have a line or two. So as a writer's prompt in 2011, I started writing down some of her classic lines. It's like Ed Sullivan, you know, I mean, God, there's going to be some clunkers, of course, but just get the gems. And you know, and I laid them out 16 points, and about 14 pages, and taking, you know, tips from George Hitchcock, who may have already been passed, where I created a found poem, cut and paste. And then I also took on Jorah's persona as I could, which, you know, to make it complete. So, this one, you feel free to sing along. It's a found poem, Eugene Poetry Slam, 2011, what Jorah says. I'm a woman of thigh, fate and chance and who freaking knows. An effusive person who meets good people in every aisle of the grocery store. Professionally, I'm a sayer of stuff. You may want to correct me, but whatever. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. That's what she said. I hope the didgeridoo got your ears vibrating. Can you hear the rain on the roof of this old building full of used books? I think it's time for a collective sigh. I'm assuming many of you want to be shocked and awed. If not, you might want to leave before our featured slam poet, Belle Wit, ukulele-wielding mermaid. Eugene and San Francisco hold hands via Cottage Grove. San Francisco makes Eugene feel awkward, but in a good way. Casey is qualified to be a slam judge because she eats Wolverine meat. Kevin is qualified as a slam judge because he doesn't give much of a shit what people think about him. That's all the info you need to score. Those of you with the flippy cards, my little score-carded kids, my little flippers. Judging with deep heart and soul. Those of you with the numbers to put a score on the bearing of heart, touch that lamination like it's hot. Flip, flip, flip. Oh, it's such a good thing Roxy and I aren't judging this freaking thing. I'd like to give a 10.9 to this stupid, courageous place where they're willing to try love again. I love how when Tobin shuts up, Roxy takes over on the objective truth of how things are. One more private moment, made public, brought to you by Roxy and Jorah. Women in boots. But we're not scoring on boots, unless you're scoring on boots all night. Having a hat is not a prop if you don't talk about it. Poppin'. That was a Cherry reference. Raucous PJ pants, puddles of devastation. Just because you step on my soul with your poem doesn't make your cast a prop. This is where I put my neutrality vision on. St. Valentine secretly married people not allowed to marry because the genitals are more similar than dissimilar. Sort of a friend of lovers, honoring love as an act of defiance. The shared humanity of it. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm talking about. The freaking courage it takes to bear yourself, to make something safe that is so terrifying. It's hard. Me and St. Valentine are not disappointed. Good job, universe. Froth with lubbery. Hallmarkian. Hallmarkian. An orgiastic slew of open miciness. Floating somewhere in the land of ambiguity, the love song, love poems continue. Valentine's Day, dog poop on the carpet. Rub your nose in it if you don't buy something for someone. Of course, you people may not be so upset about this, but obviously I am. It's got to the point where I don't even say, that's what she says. I figure it's in your head. If you want to pull the thong out of your butt, we have a sex slam in June. Donations for the sex slams, rolls, tits, ass, poems, whatever you got. No used objects. A wide chasm of possibilities. Sometimes I why am I such an art whore? And then I remember, I love you like a walrus loves a slow penguin. All right, it's all been said. Let's get through this, people. I really gotta pee. True or false, Jorah, you're much more sophisticated now.
Depends who you ask.
It would be very
Can't make
worthy.
guarantees.
Oh, my goodness. How much time? What do I have? A couple minutes?
Do what you have to do. You're fine.
I have a poem and then a little surprise.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And thanks to Joan for inspiring me. I'm working so hard that I can't create something. But I had an anger moment the other day, and it got my blood going, and so I created a poem to try and help with this. And you know, it's because of this. It was wonderful. This is first draft, and I enjoyed it. I don't think any of you will. The title is book rejection form letter. I am not a reader, an editor, or a critic, or even a friend of almost all self-published books. And I think that even the present leader of the once free world is likely no worse a man than the owner of CreateSpace. So if people told you to come to me with your poorly bound floppy waste of paper, please know that they meant no real harm to either of us when they imagined that I might actually have time to talk in some sensitive, professional way to each of the 2.6 million people in the United States who self-published books in the past year. As you enter this sacred, predominantly used bookstore, please note that I am one of many bookstore clerks in this fantastical world who has to work 90 hours per week, 52 weeks a year just to cover the rent on a one-room cabin. That and a triple martini per week, with a tip so substantial that the credit card company alerts me of my generosity. Please, for the sake not just yours, but all creative verve, please do not walk into such hallowed space and declare, I've written a book. Tell all the strangers in the coffee shops and bars. Tell the strangers who too often are our lovers and friends. Stand with the spirits of all writers in the middle of a great ancient forest and declare, I have written a book. If you do that, I promise you will feel satisfied and greatly inspired. Please do not be discouraged by the unassuming fact that if I saw your book in a stack of used books someone brought to sell or even kindly donate, yours might be tossed into the gaylord of molting disuse I facetiously send to clog the bins of the charity organizations who challenge my existence. Please, please know that I am begging because there is nothing left in my soul when I say, please do not walk into a bookstore and tell some bookstore clerk, some strange lover of books who likely has written 20 books, none of which have been vanity published, but simply written as a means of growing ever more intimate with the books. With the book, please do not say anything. Please just be quiet and know that you are amongst tens of millions of friends neatly ordered on precious shelves. Know this. Then take your waste of CreateSpace money and go buy a few hours with one of those friends. Then write another book of the billions of books that should never be published but only written, because what else is there to do but write? I probably will not hand that out. I just feel for, in the old days they had publisher agents and people would come to the bookstore, oh, I've got 800 books and I've got 10 of them I think are picked out for Tsunami. Now those 800 poor people have to go in and try and market their books, and they're writers, they're not marketers, and they're the clumsiest people in the world when they try that. So it's just we have to figure a new way to do that kind of publishing, but the writing is the most important thing. The great thing about performance is, and slam poets, but performance poets, I think in general, they probably all love music, except for Rob Bowman. Rob loves meditation, so I don't know if he likes. And sometimes there's a song or two that might inspire people to write. This one has inspired me for all my life, since I was 4. And I'm going to attempt it. I haven't played this harmonica in about 30 years, so this week I've been practicing, and we'll see what happens. It was really good in the pajamas earlier. You can just close your eyes if you like, and see if you can get creative.
Thank you.